Hello everyone. My name is Mahyar and welcome to my home. Today I want to present you with Abgousht, one of the best known traditional Iranian dishes dating back to the old Persia and dating back to the time of the Silk Road trade. Abgousht traditionally is cooked and served in single size dishes. This is the cooking vessel called the Dizi. It's about half a liter or a little bit more in volume. An authentic setting for Abgousht consists of course, Abgousht, Gousht Koobideh, which is the mashed solids. Usually it's served with dough, which is a fermented drink made from yogurt, fresh herbs, a piece of onion, raw onion, plain yogurt, and Salad Shirazi, which later on I will teach you how to make this salad. This is a wonderful salad. Abgousht is served with bread, and you can use any kind of flat bread. Traditionally, sangak is preferred. We like to bake our own village-style whole wheat bread, which of course you can find an instruction video how to make it in the channel. How Abgousht is eaten is the solids are put in a piece of bread like this. The traditional way to eat the broth is to break some bread into small pieces, and this in Persian is called tilit. And guys, you don't know how good this is until you try it. Okay. Let this soak in the broth or in the Abgousht and enjoy. Without further ado, follow me on a journey. I'm going to teach you everything that there is about cooking the perfect, authentic Abgousht. And I promise you, you're going to fall in love with Abgousht. The only way to make a home in which the beautiful smell and fragrance of a cooking of gousht is permeating the air is to add the aroma of freshly baked bread to it. Making this bread is very easy and simple. If you want to learn how to do this in your own home, I've instructed the full instructions in this video. I put a link for you here. This is very easy to do. The video has English subtitles. If you have any questions, make sure to drop me a comment down below that video, so I'll answer your questions and make sure to help you to get the perfect results. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back after 12 hours or a little over 12 hours, maybe 13 hours. Our Abgousht is looking beautiful. Now, at this stage, what we want to do is, you remember that basket that we put inside our pot when we were, before we put in the meat? The reason we did that was to facilitate separating the bones, so in later stages when we were going to mash the Gousht Koobideh, the bones are not going to constantly bother us, and we don't have to stop and pick little bones out of the meat mixture. Grabbing the basket by the handle and put the basket in a separate deep dish. The next stage of cooking involves putting in 750 grams of potatoes, or thereabouts. A little bit more or less won't kill anybody. 45 to 50 grams of tomato paste. Use good quality high brix tomato paste. Some people would tell you that you have to fry the tomato paste and add more turmeric to it, because that way the color comes out. That is all hocus pocus. Now, I'm going to put this pot back on very low heat and let it simmer. It's going to take about an hour for the potatoes to cook. In the meanwhile, we're going to let this cool down, and we're going to pick all the bones. Separate all the bones and the little pieces of bone that might be in here. And once all the bone is out, we're going to put back the meat and the remaining solids back into the pot and let everything steep together and balance. You probably wouldn't think that something like Abgousht is eaten with a salad. As a matter of fact, it is, but not with any salad. What I'm about to make you is a Shirazi salad. Shiraz, of course, is a city in south central Iran. It is known as a city of poets and gardens. I'm going to make you a Shirazi salad, which is the perfect accompaniment for an Abgousht. And it's very easy to make. What we need is, we need cucumbers, we need ripe tomatoes, we need a red onion, we need a small chili. This is optional. You can omit it if you don't like it. I'm going to start with peeling my cucumbers, but I don't peel them completely. I make them striped, like so. Okay. The key is dicing and chopping everything to a fine, small pieces of 2 or 3 millimeters. I'm going to give you a close-up to see how small I'm chopping these, so you get an idea what the proper Shirazi salad would look like. Now, don't even think about using a food processor to do this. It's not going to give you the same result. We don't want to turn this into mush. We don't want to make a puree of cucumbers. We just want finely chopped tiny little pieces. Now, to make this easier, you can cut them in half lengthwise so you have a flat base resting on your cutting board and making it safer for you if you're not an accomplished chef. What I mean is this: cut them in half, then cut them into 4 or 5 strips. Do this with the other one as well. Now you see, this way they have a wide base resting solidly on your cutting board, so you can do this safer. Do it any way that you feel more comfortable, and take your time, because cooking abgousht the proper way, as I've said before, is all about taking your time. This is not a dish that you make when you're in a hurry. And Shirazi people are famous for never being in a hurry. They don't like to rush things. They like to take their time and take it easy and have a good time. So you have to honor that tradition into making their salad. An important touch is try to have a variation in the shape and size of the pieces. You don't want them to look like they're machine made or robot made. Try to leave a human touch and your own signature. Next are your tomatoes. Now, there are no hard and fast rules as to the proportion of cucumbers to tomatoes, but aim for about half and half, and that should be about right. Finely chop your chili pepper, and this is a hot one. Okay, I think half of this baby is enough for the salad. Make sure there are no large and long pieces. Chop everything evenly and finely. Start with salt. I'm going to show you how to season the salad, and it's very simple. I'm going to start with 1 tablespoon of salt. This is wild mint I'm using. In Farsi we call it pune, and you want to use a good amount. You want to use at least a heaping tablespoon. This is powdered rose petals. This is the same type of flour that is used for making gulab or rose water. It's very fragrant. Use about a 1/4 tablespoon. Use lots of freshly ground, good quality black pepper. 2 last key ingredients: olive oil. Don't skimp on the olive oil. Okay, this was probably a good 3 or 4 spoonfuls. And what I have here, this thing of beauty, is verjuice. This is the acid, the preferred acid we use for this salad. And this, as you probably know, is made from reduced and boiled juice of unripe grapes. I'm going to start with 2 spoonfuls. If you buy this from Iranian food stores, the factory made verjuice is probably not as acidic as what I'm using here, which is super high quality homemade verjuice made by my wife. So you probably have to use as much as twice as much as what I told you. Mix everything together. Now look how beautiful it is, and all the flavors are mixing together, making a magical salad here. Now a small bowl of this beside your Abgousht is just pure heaven. Personally, I like this after a couple of hours it's been sitting in the fridge and reaching an equilibrium of taste and flavor. But of course, you can consume this immediately, and it's a nice fresh salad. And if you've never had this Shirazi salad, I think this is going to become one of your favorite salads from now on, and you're going to have to make this and eat it with everything. Enjoy your salad. Next up, we're going to continue with our Abgousht. Ladies and gentlemen, our long waiting has finally borne fruit. We are now ready to strain our Abgousht, separate the liquid from the solids, and use our mighty, trusty Gousht Koobideh to mash the Gousht Koobideh. When you're using such a lengthy cooking technique and simmering something like Abgousht for 12 or longer hours, it is essential to use a cooking vessel that has a tight lid that doesn't lose too much liquid due to steam escaping off during this time. And this is the reason why I've used a Fischler Solia, because the glass lid is perfectly sealed against the rim, and on top of that, there is another reason why I love this pot, and that's because without having to use a strainer, it is designed in a way that you can adjust a small gap here and grasp the handle and the two sides of the lid at the same time and pour away. Voila. Now this is our serving dish, and now this is a perfect serving dish because we want to keep our Abgousht warm while we prepare the Gousht Koobideh. This is the part where we're going to get a little workout. Now, quite simply, we're going to mash all the solids left in the pot. If you don't have a Gousht Koobideh for doing this, which is the perfect implement for mashing the Gousht Koobideh, you can use a bottle that has a flat bottom and a long enough handle, and preferably is no bigger than 4 inches in the bottom. And here we go. Now you remember that basket we use, that strainer basket we use in the pot. If you hadn't used that technique, you would have to stop every few seconds and pick little bits of bone from the bottom of the pot. But since we've done that, this is going to make the mashing part much easier and speed up the process. Now, when you strain the liquid out, we want to make sure there is about a cup left in the pot, because we don't want the Gousht Koobideh to be too dry. Another important tip I'd like to add is when you separate the bones and clean out the meat, try to get out as much of the fat as you can, unless you have a love affair with fat and you have no problems with your weight. This is a much healthier abgousht when you reduce the fat. But if you use lean meat to begin with, then your abgousht won't have a good taste. The fat contributes to the taste when it's cooking, but don't mash the fat in the Gousht Koobideh. Separate it. Also, you want to separate the seeds of the Limoo Amani. If you leave them in your abgousht, it's going to give you a bitter taste. Now here the texture is up to you, how much you want to mash this. Some people would like a rougher texture. I personally like it to be more homogeneous and well mashed. Okay, that's about it. I'd like to show you the consistency. So this is not too dry. It's not runny either. It's sort of like a mashed potato consistency. And this is just about perfect. Our abgousht is ready to serve. And if you watch the beginning of the video, obviously you know how it's served and what to do. I want to thank you for following me on this journey of gastronomy. I hope you're going to try this, and I'm quite certain that you will fall in love with Abgousht. If you enjoyed our cooking style, and if you enjoy the Abgousht that you're going to make sure to subscribe our channel to show us your support. And we hope to see you back here in our kitchen soon. Thank you very much. Bon appétit.